Hey, welcome to our next chapter, week 5.
Week 5 already?
Week 5 already. We're not going to clap this week. What we're going to do is we are going to talk about something near and dear to our hearts, each other. So one of the reasons that we took this venture to go into this podcast was to share insights about things that have worked for us, things that have helped us, things that have helped in our longevity, in our relationship, and growth. And so we just celebrated a milestone.
Yeah, we celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary on October 12th. And I don't think we would have imagined being married that long, or I don't think others would have, knowing how we met and everything at a college bar, right?
Yeah.
So to think that, yes, we did it, we made it, and I am excited, and I'm extremely proud of ourselves for doing that.
Yeah, it's funny. We had this talk a lot building up to this episode because we wanted to have this discussion and looking back in journals, or you had like a diary kind of thing in college and talking to different friends, and we were definitely not the couple destined to last forever. And then we go to weddings and we do the married dance, and we end up being one of the last couples out there. I think we've talked about that before, but we found that it's kind of a great sign of our fortitude and our ability to stay strong and fight through the tough times, because we've learned that, the path of least resistance is what most people end up doing. And staying together isn't normally the path of least resistance. It's a lot of work. And a lot of days you wake up and you don't know if it's going to work and how am I going to get through this? And finding ways to get through and how to stay together is kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like he said, we went to my godson's wedding last year, and to be like one of the last 3 standing, and you looked around, it was like my mom's sister that was married for over 50 years, and then a cousin that was probably in the middle. And then we were, we made it to 26 at the time. It was like really unbelievable, but so remarkable. And we get advice all the time from people on how do we continue, or, what can they do in their own relationships. And like we said, it takes a lot of work. We've been through many different chapters. When you think about reading a book, the highs and lows of things, and we've been able to combat that. And I think that's a lot of our resiliency and our grit and we're fighters. I've been a fighter since I was young, and I think that characteristic has carried through to not give up and to commit. So I think that's a lot of why we're here today.
Yeah, we're going to put a Rocky statue up in front of our house, but it's going to be an Ann statue. So it is. It's a lot of growth. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of understanding. I think when you get to a point where you can start to appreciate the differences amongst each other is when you become truly educated, truly blessed, and you really start to grow. Because you get together and everybody wants to change you, and we got to be more alike, and we got to do things alike. And I think the thing that we've learned over the years is it's our differences that make us so incredible, so perfect, because anything that I fall short in, I know that Ann compensates. And so, it's the old Jerry Maguire movie again, you complete me. And it sounds corny.
No, where's the money? We said, where's the money?
No, we didn't. We said, you complete me. And it sounds funny and like a joke, but it's really not. It's the thing that when you get down to the brass tacks of what is going to keep you together, it's appreciating the differences, the subtle nuances of who you are and who that person is that takes what you lack and makes it better and has the ability to look at you and have that same vision. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Like there will be definitely peaks and valleys through your relationship, and you have to move through and evolve with it in order to make it. And I'm not saying that, being married this long is the right thing for everybody, right?
It should be.
Right, but it's what works for us and what we've committed to in our values and, how we want to live our life, and so there's so many elements of that. Obviously, religion, faith is a big part of that too. So before we kick off into what we're going to go through, this is what really solidified things for me.
This is what
What did I say?
This is what?
Oh, okay. We received, and I won't get emotional because I always do.
Yes, you will.
No,
okay.
no, I'm going to be strong.
All right, do it.
We received this amazing card from our kids, and not only was the card as goofy, kind of like our personalities, it said happy anniversary. I got to put my glasses on to be able to read it, but this is what made it like all mean something at the end, and really proved to me that like, okay, we got it. So it says, we are forever grateful to the love you've shared, the value you've instilled, and the laughs you've given us over the years. And I love this part. You've shown us not only what a strong, persistent marriage looks like, but also amazing, resilient parents. So here's to another year. And so it's so freaking cute. But that's what I was like, okay, I get it.
And we're not getting emotional on our podcast.
No.
Strength, honor.
Yeah.
So one of the other goofy things that we do, and why I'm holding my phone, because I'm usually not an advocate of the phone thing. I make comments about everybody. While I am guilty myself, I like to acknowledge the fact that I harp on things that I do myself. I just justify it by saying I don't do it as much. But anyway, we like to send things back and forth to each other, because sometimes when you're with your partner, you want to say something, but it's really hard to say it. Or when you get ready to say it, different things get vibes. So sometimes when you see a good quote or you see something, you send it over and it's kind of fun. And this one was habits of couples that last. So it's like 15-ish questions. We're going to run through them quickly and we're going to do a yes or no on if we're good at this one. So question number 1.
But before you start, this is like he said, it's a really good way if you find things like this to keep like conversation going and communication. It's always good, and then you guys can reflect about it. Okay,
it's a litmus test. Remember litmus test?
Yeah.
Yes?
Whatever.
All right, you're going to go with it. That's what we do. Number 1, they are affectionate even outside the bedroom.
Yeah. Yes.
Most of the time. Sometimes one of us is overly affectionate and the other one gets irritated, but that's okay.
Yeah, but it's still an emotion.
Yep. Number 2, they don't gossip about each other. We don't gossip about each other.
Yeah.
No. Not what we would define as gossip. I don't even know what would you kind of define.
Gossip to me would be, I use that as negative, so.
It's not always negative, but I don't think we talk out of turn about each other. They hug and kiss to start the day and hug and kiss to end it.
Well, he does to me, so I'm usually in bed much later because he goes to bed at 8. So he will, every morning before he leaves, he comes and says, goodbye, have a good day, because he's like typically the optimistic person. I'm usually the pessimistic person, but
no, I wouldn't say that.
But,
You're learning. Number 4, they move towards the bedroom together each night.
No, we have different.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. We have different time frames. I'm a very early riser. She tends to get up a little bit later. We'll save that for another podcast because I have a whole field about that one, about how I feel about it and such. But that being said, you can be opposites like that, and you can still make something like this work, because when I get up in the morning, I do my best. I'm not perfect, but I do my best to try to not disturb her. But I do try to make a point of kissing her on the forehead, kissing her on the cheek before I leave for work.
That's true.
When you have a partner that goes to bed early, you could do the same when you get ready for bed without waking them or disturbing them, giving them a quick, same concept. Yes, so absolutely. Thoughts and ideas that work. I think it's a great sign of love, because tomorrow's never promised, and you don't want to wake up the next day and something have happened and you not made that extra step, because we may joke, we may have hard times, but I can't imagine my life tomorrow without my ride or die and my coach. Number 5, they continually do small things for each other. I think that's an emphatic yes.
Yes.
We do a lot of goofy stuff that most people don't know about, that little things. Put my laundry away. Yes. That was so amazing to me. No, seriously, I appreciate that. That was awesome.
Yes.
It's just, I was coming home from work, and the last thing I wanted to do was put my own damn laundry away.
Or have a shake ready for me, or breakfast when I come down, or things like that.
Or pick up some lovely chairs.
No, I'll go through the story after. Go.
Okay. Number 6, they celebrate in their partner's accomplishments. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
We do. More so now, we're getting better at that. I think when we were younger, it was tough because when we were growing, we still thought it was a competition.
No, I don't even think we competed.
A little bit.
No, I don't
Little
think
bit.
it was a
I think subconsciously we did.
No.
But now it's more of when you wake up and realize that when she succeeds, I get to benefit from it. She could be my sugar mama. I mean,
I don't want to be competitive.
how you go down on that? Number 7, they stand together and refuse to let outsiders call the shots.
What does that mean?
Ride or die. That's a tough one because I think early on in your marriage you'll have a lot of family influence that overrides and gets in the way.
And you have children influence.
Well, I think more so the family because your parents have always kind of been there or siblings. But I think that, again, not to be redundant, but the true growth comes when you see that when my decisions are mine, but they're collaborative and we have a conversation about it and her feedback matters to me and the things that I say matter to her more so than everything else. You know, you wake up one day and you realize that, it does matter. And, it may not be tomorrow or the next day, but if you work, the dream can happen. Number 9, they know how to say sorry and mean it.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a really tough one for some of us.
Prideful.
I don't want to say both of us.
No, because we always tend to think we're right? And
it's no. We have it okay saying sorry, but sometimes we say sorry just to get out of whatever we're dealing with, rather than when I'm sorry, I understand what my part was. That doesn't mean you're wrong.
Yeah.
When you say sorry, you're not saying that it was your fault or you're wrong. What you're saying is you acknowledge your part in it.
Yeah.
So that's a growth thing. Number 10, they don't make assumptions about their partner's feelings. They ask. I think that's another one we're growing on.
Yes,
what do you think, though?
No,
I want to hear you.
No, like yesterday, this example of these.
We'll get to the chairs.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Number 11, they keep dating and treat date night as a sacred ritual.
Like we do go out dating often, but I think we can also improve and we also listen to another.
Yeah, we listened to another podcast. Actually, it was a little short that Ann sent to me, and it was taking that dating ritual and actually emphasizing even more. And the emphasis you put in your business and having a structured meeting, not so much about structure as in a meeting, but structure as in you can't miss meetings because of the importance of them. Don't miss your date night. And when you go over your date night, go over these things.
Right.
How are you feeling? How did I do this? What is my scorecard? And not scorecard so you have a chance to beat someone up. A scorecard so that you know that, hey, when you did my laundry, how it made me feel. Or when I came in that day, or when you woke up in the morning and you kissed me on my cheek, it made my day a lot better.
Right.
And that's a big deal because I know that I'm big on starting the day positive, and a big part of the positivity in my day is the interaction I have with my wife. Because if it's a great interaction, my success...
Yeah. It sets a mood for your entire day.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. Good call.
What do we have?
Number 12, when they argue, their goal is to come to a consensus, not to win.
Yes. Although we
used to win.
We were yes. So as you mature in your relationship, your kind of priorities do change. So it's not, you don't always have to win, and it's not a win. It's more of like come to a mutual change, decision together. That's the key. Is like you come to a compromise or a consensus or something.
A consensus. That's the key to it. Is we used to think you had to win, and a lot of times when you think you've won, you've lost. Because it harbors ill will and there's a problem. And now it's more of a combined decision. I think you're getting in. Want to keep moving. They are intimate about everything.
Intimate about everything. We're emotional about everything.
I don't think we're intimate. That's something we can work on.
We don't make out after.
Number 14. They say what they mean and mean what they say to each other.
We wear our emotions on our sleeve for sure. So I would say yes.
Definitely.
With a lot of emphasis.
No, I do. I love to say things that I do.
You have to. That keeps communication and truth to your relationship.
Keeps it flowing. Number 15, they listen intently before replying.
No, I'm going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm always...
answering before the sentence is over.
And then he says I do that. Yeah. So I've been better about it through, again, I go back to my journal and thinking through like that, thinking through things more listening more, but that has always
And again,
worked for
it's
me.
a growth thing. Not everybody's perfect at everything. I had some trouble early in my life that had me look at that part earlier, whether in business and I'm going out and I'm selling and realizing that when you're selling something, a lot of times listening is better than talking. And I thought I had to talk through everything. So that's helped. Number 16, they refuse to play the blame game. I think that's gotten better.
Yeah.
Probably not perfect, but
As you can see, there's
close.
a pattern here. You're improving as you go, and you're recognizing those things.
good call. You're kind of on fire tonight. Go ahead. I like that. Number 17, they make daily sacrifices for each other. Yeah, that's almost every single day. There's some sort of sacrifice, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get me a bottle of water? Can you put my shoes away? Can you get my workout tape?
laundry.
Sometimes it's
Can I use your
lopsided.
car because my tires are...
Can I use our car?
Because the tires are flat.
Our.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not mine.
Yep.
Possessive. Maybe that's another topic
I
to
love
talk
my
about.
car.
That's the end of the questions. A healthy relationship is one of the most important things in lives, especially when both people push each other to become the best versions of themselves. Best line of the
Wait,
entire...
let's give a shout out to those people that we got that from too.
Oh, sorry. It's from Income Fact
Oh, income fact.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys from our 125 viewers, but and growing. So the part that we want to emphasize, I think that's important to us, is growth. It's not, you don't have it locked down. I talk to people all the time. I love mentoring. I want to eventually become a public speaker. It's the thing that I enjoy the most in life, besides being with my wife and my wonderful children. But every day you grow. It's not, you don't start perfect. In fact, most of us start damaged and sometimes get more damaged, and sometimes can't see the forest for the trees, and sometimes you wake up and you don't know how you're going to go on, and what am I going to do? And it's reaching deep inside of you and understanding that there's more there, that when I put it down and I truly give myself to someone else and they truly give back, that's when you can experience relationship bliss, if there's such a thing.
Right. And again, have to emphasize that we've had those rocky days to figure out if we're going to stay together, leave each other. So don't, it's work. That's what I'm going to say. Any relationship, anything takes work. And that's what we did. It's our labor of love, basically. And I want to emphasize that too. Don't think it's there. Again, I always use the word playbook, but it's true. But, having that open communication, also seeking advice from others that you really want to emulate. And so I love when I get a lot of questions like that and try to guide you through. Has really been the path that has helped us really be where we are today.
And seek out those sources. I mean, whether it be friends or family or clergy or church or therapy, or there's lots of things that you can do before you cuss somebody out and close the door and move on, or do some other dark things. Reach out and seek out the help and look to people who maybe have done it longer and people that can be open with you. Because I sit down with people that are younger than me and I have that conversation and pretty open about it, that it wasn't always great. And there's a lot of people that we run into today that are like, we can't believe that you guys have done it.
That's very true.
But it's a great story to tell, and it's a great opportunity to share that even two very imperfect people can be imperfectly perfect together. It's always, it's about, okay.
No.
We can be imperfectly perfect together. And in fact, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
Keep going.
It's what makes us perfect is being imperfect together.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, and as you can see, as we're growing, we're starting to match and stuff, which is really
And we didn't plan that at all. I mean, we didn't go up and do a wardrobe change, or
No.
we just flowed with it.
I work upstairs. Yeah, had this on already. But before we end,
We got that part good. Yeah, you can do your story here, and then we'll do a little closing. But go for
okay.
it. I like this.
So yesterday, I've been eyeing these chairs. Thank you, Crate and Barrel. And I was having one of those moments yesterday, things at work and everything. So I really just need to get at the house because I work from home. And I left, and kind of abruptly. And when I left, I kind of gave him like the cold shoulder, and I got in my car. And then I had called him like, hey, by the way, these are the reasons why I'm acting this way because of this emotion, right? Thing is, before I even keep it bottled inside, I wanted to express how I feel. So that's, again, important. But the funny story is so I got to Crate and Barrel, and these chairs were 60% off, thank God. And I've been eyeing them. But, of course, I didn't have the card with me, the Crate and Barrel card. And
because it's Daddy's card.
Yes. And it was like $6.50 or $45, and then I was telling the lady, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta call my husband after I expressed emotion and a bit of anger and irritation towards him. I had to pick up the phone and say, oh my gosh, can you please come down because I forgot the card, and by the way, they need to be picked up. And so I had to kind of eat my pride, recognize that, acknowledge my behavior, and sort of kiss his butt a bit. And what did he do? He willingly, with a little bit of a grumble,
there was no grumble,
came and saved me, and picked up my chairs I've just been really excited about. So thank you. But it's at those moments where you're like, dang it, I shouldn't have opened my mouth. But honestly, I should have, because I wanted to express how I felt, but then knew it was, I guess, God's plan to bite at me in the butt and say,
And given the topic tonight, I'm going to leave that version as the version that was there, because I do a great job about constantly overdoing. And as some people have mentioned that, my comments maybe. So yes, it was a learning experience.
Yes.
I didn't grumble.
Both sides.
I didn't grumble. I thought it was ironic. I'm a big fan of irony.
Yeah, it is true.
But it got done. It got here. We get to use them for our podcast. The podcast is super important to us. I love it too because it gives me a chance to talk. So she did use that as fodder for the fire about getting it done. So it was super cool.
That's called marriage and all those things.
Yeah,
so
love and
of course it happened to be that way. But anyways,
so it's been a great ride. 5 weeks in. Obviously, we're going to continue to grow. We're still kind of coming down from Italy. What an absolutely amazing trip. And the brain's constantly running about what's going to be next. And next week is going to be a really huge one for us. Something we're super excited about. Something on the whole track of teaching and growth and things you want to do as a couple and as a family.
Exactly.
And so it's something that we've been building on for a long time.
Yes.
And when you have two people that come from different places and have different ideas and different strengths and weaknesses, coming together on it and finally hitting a point where all of those things, strengths, weaknesses, whatever they are, come together to realize that you can do something amazing. So I'm not going to go any more than that. We'll save it for next time. Thanks for tuning in and peace out.
Bye.